In national headlines, just one day of talks between top American and Russian officials. Relations between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelenskyy are beginning to deteriorate, with Trump calling Zelenskyy a dictator. National correspondent Atra Elnashar reports from Washington.
3 years of U.S. policy to make no decision about Ukraine without Ukraine has been shaken to its core in just 48 hours. A dictator without elections, Zelenskyy better move fast or he is not going to have a country left, President Trump wrote in a social media post Wednesday morning.
Unfortunately, President Trump, I have great respect for him as a leader of a nation that we have great respect for, the American people who always support us. Unfortunately, he lives in this disinformation space.
Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelenskyy said that hours after a high-level meeting between U.S. and Russian officials in Riyadh that excluded Ukraine.
Today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it.
Even some Republicans disagree with President Trump putting blame on Ukraine.
It is quite clear who started the war. It was absolutely Russia at Putin's directive.
Vladimir Putin is a gangster. He's a gangster with a black heart.
Another point of contention is the president's decision to have his team start in-person talks with the Russian side.
President Trump is not even engaging the NATO alliance in this conversation about the future of Ukraine. In fact, he is hardly engaging Ukraine.
The Ukrainians are part of the conversation, but what's not happened in over 3 years is any meaningful dialogue with the Russians.
Some fear the Trump administration will cater to Russia as they watch President Trump rail against how much the United States has spent on aid to Ukraine, $183 billion as of the end of fiscal year 2024. Funding Trump calls a gravy train.
We're just not doing this out of the goodness of our heart. We support Ukraine because U.S. national security and our economy rely on it.
President Trump is already entertaining the idea of an in-person meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It would be the first for the country's leaders since Russia's 2022 invasion. When asked if he would meet with Putin before the end of this month, Trump said, probably. In Washington, I'm Atra Elnashar.